So, when we were a bit younger, so for example, if you're in year 13 right now, when you were in year 10, we always like to make revision timetables. But a big mistake that we make when we are actually making those revision timetables is that we use the standard prospective revision timetable. So when I was in year 10, I came across this video from Ali Abdal. So if you don't know Ali Abdal, he's a YouTuber who makes videos on productivity. You can check his channel out in the description below. Now, the thing that happened is I had a big realization that what I was doing was so wrong. You're not supposed to make timetables this way, and I'll explain why you're not supposed to do it in a bit. So from then onwards, I realized how do you actually make a perfect revision timetable? And the timetable is called the Retrospective Revision timetable. So this video is heavily inspired by his video. You can go check it out in the description below. And yeah, so I'm going to be teaching you today how do you make the perfect revision timetable, so the fact that you also feel good about doing it, but you also become more productive using it. So not wasting more of your time, let's begin. So I've split this video into a couple of different parts. Those different parts will help you, understand this video a bit easier. So the first we're going to be talking about what the prospective revision timetable is that we've already, we've been accustomed to use since the start. Then we're going to be talking about the disadvantages of the prospective revision timetable. After that, I'm going to show you what your timetable should look like, and that is the retrospective revision timetable and how it will help you. And finally, I'm going to show you how to make your own retrospective revision timetable, whether that's on Notion, Google Sheets, or Excel. I'm going to be doing it on Google Sheets, by the way. So I'm not going to waste more time. Let's dive right into the first point of this video. The way we actually create a timetable looks a bit like this. So you have dates in one of the columns, and then in the next column, you have the list of topics that you might be doing. And this is how we, make a timetable. You write the date, and next to it, you're going to be writing the topic you might be studying that day. But this is very wrong, and there are many problems with this. So let me explain to you what the problems with this method are. Part 2 of this video is the problems with the prospective revision timetable. I sat down and wrote 5 of the biggest problems that I saw with this timetable, and they start off with, firstly, you have to look weeks into advance, and that's just not possible. It doesn't make sense to me because you're looking 4, 5, 6, 7, however many weeks into advance and saying, oh, 7 weeks later on this Tuesday, I'm going to be studying physics. That's just not possible. So it doesn't really make sense to me why you would, predict 7 weeks into the future. Now, the biggest issue, and issue number 2 that I see with this, is that you're never certain about the future. So, as I said, 7 weeks later on a random Tuesday, you might have to go out with friends. You might have to go out with family. You might have, a family emergency come up. Anything can happen. You can never be too sure about the future. You can never say 7 weeks later, I'm going to be free this day, 100%. You never know what's going to happen. So that's why I don't really make the sense of it, because, you might end up missing your studies. You might go off track of the schedule, and then you're going to feel guilty and unproductive later on. So it doesn't make sense. You cannot never predict, that far long into the future. Problem number 3 that I see with this is that we're emphasizing more on the date we're going to do it. We're not looking at what topic we're doing, what subject we're doing, but rather which date. So for example, when you come, you say, okay, today is the 13th and I'm going to be doing this. You're focusing more on the date rather than what topic you're doing. So it doesn't really make sense either. Problem number 4 that I see with this is that you're not actually being productive. It's just, it's just going to make you feel good about yourself. So it's going to be like, oh, let me sit down and, be productive. Oh, look, I made a schedule. I'm so productive. It doesn't really work, because 90% of the time, you're not even going to follow it anyways, because random stuff will come up and you might just end up leaving the schedule all on its own. So it doesn't really make sense. It's just, it's just going to boost your ego saying, oh, I did something today and I feel productive. Doesn't make sense. Generally it doesn't make sense. And point number 5 is that it doesn't, tell you your weak areas. It doesn't actually help you, because you have no idea what topics you're struggling with, what topics you should, focus on more, what topics you understand. So it doesn't really help you from an academics point of view, because what is it really doing? It's just telling you, okay, this day I'm studying this, but is it telling you which topics you're weakest at, which topics you're good at, which topics you have left, which topics you've already done, what past papers you've done? Does it really tell you that? No, it does not. So it is kind of useless, but it just makes you feel good about yourself, like, okay, I'm doing something productive. But in reality, you're not doing anything productive. Instead, you're just wasting your time, and there's a 90% chance you're not going to follow the schedule anyways. So these are some of the problems that I see with the prospective, the revision timetable we've been taught to make as children. But there is something that it's better than this. You can make a timetable, and that's what I call, or more like perhaps what Ali Abdal calls it, a retrospective revision timetable. Now, this is a game changer, and trust me, it can transform your productivity. The prospective revision might suit some people, but I really do recommend you go ahead and try the retrospective, which we're going to talk about now. Okay, so now we're on part 3 of this video, which is the retrospective revision timetable and why it is the best form of a revision timetable. So I'm going to show you what it looks like. Okay, so this is what a retrospective revision timetable looks like. So now you can see on my screen what a retrospective revision timetable looks like. So basically, you have the topics on one side, and then you have the dates you did the topics on. And the reason I've colored it, I've used the standard, traffic system, which is red means, it's hard and you don't understand. Orange means you somewhat get it, and green means it's easy. So the way you're gonna do it, you have the topics on one side, obviously, and then you have this. You color coded. So for example, geometry, logarithms, and binomial expansion is the hard topics, and integration, proofs is like the sort of easier topics. Then you do it on another date. So for example, you do it on 25, you do proofs on 26, and by 29th you've understood proofs. Now geometry is a bit harder because you did it on the 24th and you didn't understand it at all, but then you did it on the 25 and you understand it a bit better, and then you finally do it on the 28th and you understand it like properly. So that you have the dates in this column, and it makes perfect sense because the way you're going to do it is you're going to study a topic and then you're going to write the date you studied it and the difficulty you found in it. Then you're going to, you do it 2-3 days later, you're going to write the date again, and then again the difficulty of the topic. You do it until all of the end results are all green, because the end result is you want the green, obviously, because green means that you've understood the topic and you're not having any problems in it. So this is how a retrospective revision timetable works. Instead of looking forward into 7 weeks into the future, you're just going to look back and see, on this date I did this and what was the difficulty. Another benefit of that I see of this is basically that it allows you to understand which topics you're struggling with the most and which topics you're good at, you don't need to study anymore. For example, integration was okay on the first day, but binomial, logs, and geometry was not. So that means I should focus more on binomial, logs, and geometry rather than integration, because I've already understood integration. So that's how you're going to use a retrospective revision timetable. A few benefits that I've mentioned of this is that obviously the first one is obviously that you know which topic you're struggling in, which topic you're okay at, and which topic you're good at. So that will allow you to navigate through the whole syllabus, knowing that okay, this topic I'm good at, this topic I'm not good at, this topic I'm okay at. So you can focus on the weaker areas and get the better grade. The goal of this revision timetable is basically by the time your exams come around, every single topic should be green, because that would mean you understand every single topic and you can get the grade you want. But if something is orange or red, you must heavily focus on that, because that means that is your weakest topic and you should start focusing more towards that. You can leave the green once you don't have to study it that frequently, but if something is green or red or orange, you need to focus more on it. Another advantage of this is that you don't need any effort to create this. All you need to know is like your syllabus topics. So for example, if you're doing A-level maths, you need to know what topics are coming in your A-level syllabus, and that's all you need. You just need to make a column with topics and you write a date, and that's all you need. And every time you study a topic, you can just write the date and color code it. You can do whatever, you can rate it out of 1 to 5, 1 to 10, whatever you want to do, you can do it. Just, it means looking back instead of looking forward. Scope your subject and know, for example, in physics, you have DC circuits, electricity, you have, you have waves, you have superposition, you have dynamics, you have physical quantities and units. So, you should know what topics and subtopics are there in your syllabus. That's all you need to know for a retrospective revision timetable. Now, let me show you how you can make your own retrospective revision timetable on Google Sheets. So let's begin. Yeah, so on my screen, you can now see a blank Google spreadsheet document, and I'm going to show you how to make your own retrospective revision timetable. You can do it by hand, you can do it on Google Sheets. Google Sheets is probably the best idea to do it on. You want to extend this as much as you can. You want to write, you want to make this, for example, topics, and then you can use this for dates. So let me just make this, let me just fill this with any color you can fill it in. Okay, gray is fine. Now let's take the example of let's just take maths. So I'm gonna do as many A-level topics I can think of. You have logs, you have what do you have? Coordinate, geometry. You have you have integration. You also have differentiation. Did I spell it right? Okay, I probably did. I'm not looking back. You have proofs. You have what else? You have trigonometry. Identities. I'm trying to think. I'm completely forgetting words. Oh yeah, by expansion. Okay, so now you have these on your Google Sheet document, and the thing I'm gonna do is, what's the date today? Today is 25. Let's say you study 25. I'm not gonna put exact date. I can just do 25/7. Okay, let's copy this. Let's say you study differentiation. You study 3 topics today. No, okay, you just study 2 topics. Okay, so on my screen you can currently see the dates. I've not made them different dates. I've put them all as 25th because that's the date today. 25th July. All of them are 25th July. I'm not gonna. You know what I mean, right? You can do the dates yourself, but I'm just gonna show you how it's done. So all you need to do is, for example, I'm gonna select these 5 topics, and I found these topics extremely. Sorry, not this. This can be reset. I found all of the topics on the first try very hard, but then as we grew, I found these topics like orange, and these topics were green. So like not these, sorry, this and these topics were green. The next day, why does this keep happening? Right, they were supposed to be 25. Yeah, 1 sec. 25/7. Why is this? Okay. Okay, now, and on the last day, you can put that you found all of these easy, but then you found this one a bit tricky. So this is how your thing is supposed to look, because the first time you study a topic, it's going to be a bit hard, and we all know that it's going to be hard. But on the second try, it becomes a bit more easy. So you have 4 of them which are a bit easier. You find them okay, you're not extremely good at it yet, but then 2 of them you're really good at, and then 1 you just have no clue. And then when on the third time of studying, you find all of them easy except 1, which is logs. Logs is a bit of a tricky, all of the changing stuff and the rules of logarithms are a bit tough. So for example, you find it a bit hard, so you put orange, and then you continue going as long as it takes for you to get green in whichever topic you're doing. This is just a short example. It's not going to be 3 times you studying. You're probably going to study it a lot of times, so it could reach the Q column. So it's going to be like this. It's going to look very long. But the great thing is it allows you to scope and know exactly what's wrong with you, with your, understanding of a particular topic. So for example, coordinate geometry, I'm very bad at it. And I know that because every time I look into my retrospective revision timetable, I can see that I am horrible at it. So I'm going to study it for as long as it takes, and eventually I'm going to get it green. So it's not that difficult. All you need is a topics column and a dates column. The dates column doesn't even have to be filled. All you need to do is scope your subject and know the subtopics or topics that are coming, and this is how you're going to do it. It's really that easy. It's not hard at all. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the support. We're nearly at 200 subscribers, and let's try to get 500 as soon as we can. But yeah, thank you again for watching this video. Please do leave a like and subscribe. This video took a lot of time to make. You can see because when I started it was day, and now it's probably sunset. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please do leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you with another video very soon. And yeah, that's it. If you have any video recommendations, please leave them in below. If you want to check out my podcast with the Ginger Mathematician, you can check it out here. And if you're also struggling with focus, you can check this video out here. And last but not least, if you're struggling with the Pomodoro technique, you can check this video out here. And yeah, I'll see you very soon. Thank you for watching the video, and goodbye.